Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Archaeology Findings 12. Today, I discovered, courtesy of popular.archaeology.com, in this site, what I discovered on the articles uncovering the early Mycenaeans, whatever it's called. And there's also Step Street of Pontius Pilate, Chicken as a Shadows, Rewriting Prehistory at Stelida, Early Americans Part 1 Artifacts, The North Side Story, and Early Americans Part 2 in the Bones, Technology 1, Early Artifacts Part 1, and the First Siberians, the Milpo Hidden Majesty, the Lost Grave of Richard III, 1619, Archaeology and the Seeds of a Nation, Revealing Barara, the long-lost African medieval city, Unearthing the Secrets of Smith Creek, Crossing the Timber, Spirit Cave, the world's oldest natural mummy, the hydrol and the theory of archaeological rafts, a mummy in Providence, straws that bind, the last Netherlanders, and there's a hell of a lot more, but I'm not going to go into that now. Okay, so the first one I'm going to read about is archaeology uncovering the early Mycenaeans. Oh, it's available to premium members only. Can't do that. But I can read a little bit about I can tell you about this is that they have excavations of princely tombs are shedding new light on normative time before the high Florences of the Mycenaean civilization. So what I have found here is that it's only available to premium members. But what I could tell you, another thing, let me go to another site now, courtesy of SmithsonianMag.com. I'll talk about if this is a thing which you can look at without being a premium member. There are 12 fascinating finds revealed in 2019, courtesy of SmithsonianMag.com. What I can tell in this magazine, online, Smithsonian Magazine, a sorceress kit, a forgotten settlement, a Renaissance masterpiece, and a 1700-year-old egg. The first thing I'm going to talk about right now is the hidden Japanese settlement found in forests of British Columbia. During the first half of the 20th century, a group of Japanese Canadian settled down in a secluded enclave, British Columbia, in Vancouver's North Shore Mountains, creating a small but thriving community that boasted rows of houses, gardens, a water reservoir, and a shrine and a bathhouse. Here, says archaeologist Robert Muckle, immigrants and their Canadian-born children sought refuge from a rampant racism of pre-World War II, which they came here from before World War II to Vancouver. Among other limitations, Japanese individuals were barred from voting, entering the civil service, and practicing law. The North Shore settlement's first residents were probably loggers employed on a nearby patch of land, although the area's forestry had been largely harvested by 1924. Mako suspects the persecuted Japanese opted to remain in their tight knit community, living here on the margins of an urban area, kind of in secret. World War II brought the villagers' idyllic existence to abrupt halt. Although Mako hasn't found direct evidence of habitation post after 1920, he told Smithsonian Magazine at the sheer amount of artifacts left at the site, the list of more than 1,000 recovered items, including rice bowls, buttons, ceramics, teapots, pocket watches, and sake bottles, suggests the settlement was abandoned in a hurry, like around 1942, when its residents were incarcerated or sent to road camps. So they would say in Canada, there's a settlement of Japanese Canadians. They escaped the World War II Nazi Germany. It does not say anything about that here, but to avoid persecution to World War II and get killed, sent to death camps, they came to Canada. They abandoned the settlement. They were incarcerated, sent to road camps. Another discovery: archaeologists unearthed remains of infants wearing helmets. That I read about already. read about already. I read this already. Pompeii. One second, hold on, guys. I read this already. Here's something: a witch bottle filled with teeth, pins, and mysterious liquid discovered in English chimney. Witch bottles filled with pen pins, nails, thorns, urine, fingernail clippings, hair, and even teeth were regularly employed to ward off witchcraft between the 16th and 18th centuries. So the bottles they found on the top were filled with different things. This assortment of objects was believed to lure witches into the bottle, where they would become trapped on the pin's sharp points. By the mid 19th century, such talismans were considered outdated, making a witch bottle which she found at a former inn and pub in Waterford, England, and dated to no earlier than 1830s at anomaly. The torpedo-shaped vessel in question contained fish hooks, human teeth, shards of glass, and an unidentified liquid, possibly urine, what they consider. I'm not going to go into it too much because some users, it could be inappropriate for some people, but contractors discovered the bottle while demolishing the chimney of the Watford property formerly known as the Star and Garter. Practitioners often placed such bottles underneath hearths or near chimneys, as these openings were thought to grant witch passage into the home. The protective charm was far from the Star and Garter's first brush when with witchcraft. One second. A woman later dubbed the Witch of Saratoga was born in the year 1761. It's certainly later than most witch bottles, sadly not contemporary with Angeline Toombs, Surrey Holbrook, a historian at the University of Hertfordshire, told BBC, but still a fascinating find. The next thing I'm going to talk about, courtesy of SmithsonianMag.com, lost footage of one of the Beatles' last live performance found in the attic. On June 16, 1966, the Beatles performed Paperback Writer on an episode of the BBC television program Tops the Pops. The British Broadcasting Network failed to record or otherwise document the show, leading fans to believe it had been lost forever. But it hasn't. But luckily, a music lover watching from home, David Chandler, decided to capture the Fab Four appearance with his personal wind-up camera, which they had in the olden days. They didn't have digital cameras. He then stored the footage in his attic for more than 50 years. Chandler held on the recording until this spring, when a discovery of similar, significantly shorter clip of the Top of the Pops performance made headlines around the world. I think if you're a Beatles fan, is the Holy Grail. Chris Perry of the Kaleidoscope, an organization that specializes in tracking down and restoring lost footage, told BBC News at the time that Chandler sends his Kaleidoscope his own 92-second clip. The longer recording, deemed phenomenal by Perry, is silent as a 11-second one found by a collector earlier this year. A Kaleidoscope remastered the footage, syncing it with audio of Paperback Writer and enhancing the video's quality, finally giving Beatles fans a chance to see the long-lost performance. So they found the footage of the last live performance of the Beatles found in the attic. Someone kept the footage, a short clipping, for 50 years. Maybe that would be valuable, but who knows? So what I could explain to you now, ladies and gentlemen, is that the footage, the things I've read about are so fascinating that they that they have some sentimental value to the people who want them, who think it's their property of their home. Besides, I don't know if they have any monetary value, at least some of them do, but they have sentimental value. They have other things that people consider valuable to their own. I mean, not considered monetary value necessarily, but they have things like people consider their property. So, what to summarize what I did today, to summarize what I have read today, what I've read today in the article is courtesy of SmithsonianMag.com and courtesy of otherthings.com, whatever it is I've read about, that the things are considered. When I said monetary value or sentimental value, that's besides the point. They're considered to archaeologists important things from thousands of years ago in the early times and in the early things, early stages, early civilization, early humanity, whatever you name it, they have things they stumble upon once in a while. So I hope you all subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/ElliotWitter25. You can find my channel, youtube.com/ElliotWitter25. I hope to see you all sometime soon.